Hi, everyone. This is the Cosmic Pulse, part two of the King's Plate. This is Jen Ingress with Luke Bailey and Robert Giarratano. If you were following the races, you will have known that the big stake races, including the King's Plate, were canceled under a Mercury retrograde transit and due to inclement weather. We had basically a month's worth of rainfall occur in a short span of a few hours. So for the safety of the jockeys and the horses, at 4:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight, they canceled the remaining races. So we are here, and so basically what that means is it gives a different chart. And so the
Everything's changed.
race, yes, is happening on Friday, August 23rd. Post time is 5:35 p.m. So we are here for a little addendum we've done our analyses and to share our astrological analyses and to give our quote revised list, even though some of the horse names will come up again in our picks. Sound
Yep.
right, Luke?
Yeah, that's pretty close to
Right.
it, Jen. I think what we're going to try and do is keep this fairly short. So, Robert, Jennifer, and myself have all been going through the chart, trying to find out exactly what and how it works and how it's changed. And things have changed quite dramatically. What I will do is I'll share my screen for a sec, Jen, so people can see what's going on in regards to the chart. I think this was where we were at. If I get this up, can everyone see that? And if I go back to the
Mhm.
actual wheel, we've got the wheel there. And this is the chart for the new time of 5:34 p.m. on the 23rd of August. So last time, for everyone to remember, we had the moon was sitting here about right on about to conjunct Pluto. Now, since that time, the moon has moved quite considerably. It's come around and it's now at 28 degrees of Aries. And that's what we call, it's nearly what we call void of course moon. Void of course, meaning that it's not going to make any further aspects before leaving sign. However, it does make a very minor aspect to Neptune, just about to hit that as well. We also have Mercury sitting over here. The sun has now moved into Virgo. Before it was in Leo, so it was probably in a lot more powerful position. So this will influence. However, the ruler of Virgo, Mercury, is in Leo where the sun rules. So these are what we call in mutual reception. We also have Mercury forming a very strong by degree sextile aspect to Mars. You can see that 2257, 2237. Normally, this would be past the degree of Mars, but because it's retrograde, it's actually approaching and coming in closer for people to note. The interesting thing is that Mercury is still quite strong in its positioning, I should say, of the chart because it is the dispositing ruler of the chart. Again, to remind people what that means, the ruler of the midheaven, the success point of the chart is Pluto, but it's also Mars in its traditional rulership. And Pluto is ruled, in this case, is in Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, Uranus is ruled by Venus in this case, because it's in Taurus. So Venus itself is in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. That's ruled by in Leo, which is the sun. The sun is in Virgo, so it all comes back to Mercury. So I hope that makes sense. And the same applied if I did it through whether I made the traditional rulerships of Saturn via here and also from Mars here. So we have a fairly strongly positioned Mercury still, and it is sitting at the midpoint between Pluto and Saturn. Now, the interesting point was a lot of us made our, what's the word for it? Our predictions based on the fact that Saturn and Pluto were quite strong. And I think if you remember, Robert and I last time round chose that Essex Serpent would probably be the winner on the day. That may have changed, but Robert, would you like to share a little bit of what you've noticed as a difference? Would you like me to put the dial up, or would you like to share your screen perhaps? Let's do that. So I'll
Um,
stop sharing mine, and you can show us what you found on the dial quickly, and then we'll make our observations from there. And Jen, you can add bits and pieces obviously in as well. We've all got a little bit of a difference of opinion. Anyway, over to you, Robert.
I kind of agree with a lot of things that you're saying. I think the Mars Mercury is going to play a very prominent role in this race. The reason being, if you look at that Mercury Mars midpoint, let's see if I can get it right here. It's almost like right off of the cardinal axis, and it's the connection with the nodes and also the meridian. is right on that. And it's also Chiron comes in there, and Chiron is really the wounded warrior, or someone. It's half man, half serpent, or half animal, half horse, and or centaur is what it really is. And also the ascendant is also connected to that at the time of the race with that Aries point. So that Mercury Mars to me is very prominent in the race. So basically, I feel my boy Prince is going to win the race, and I would basically throw in Pierre, Jokestar, and Essence Serpent because I think the Serpent of the Mars Pluto. If we go to the ascendant of at the time of the race and the ascendant, you see that Mars Pluto is right on that axis, along with not too far from where the midpoint of the Sun Mercury, along with Uranus. And it kind of like ties in with, let's see, that.
So, Robert, do you point out to people where, so that blue line going across the wheel, that's connecting Mars, which is on the top of the chart.
Yeah, this is Mars, and the Mars Pluto
That's
ties right
Pluto down
into
the
it.
bottom and Mars at the top there next to Venus. I was just saying that Mars is towards the top. You said this is Mars and you pointed down towards Pluto for a minute. There's Mars and there's Pluto down the bottom. Just because a lot of people watching this may not have any idea what the symbols of astrology are. That's all.
And then if you put it on the if you put it on the meridian here at the time of the race, which you feel that the meridian is really the key to what is happening at the moment. Basically, there's a horse race.
Yes.
And you could see that the meridian ties the sun right in there on the axis, which ties into the cardinal axis, which is really the moment of the day. And it kind of like brings in that Jupiter. If I move it a little, you see the Jupiter Neptune midpoint coming right in, starting to come in on that at the time of right before the race.
Just there.
But then there it is. It's Jupiter, Neptune's right there along with the sun. So to me, that could be a lot of people be very happy because it's the favorite wins the race.
I tend to agree with you, Robert.
And it's not going to pay a lot, but
Yeah.
but you got, you got like 80% of the people got money on the favorite. They're going to be happy.
Okay.
But then it's really, to me, the value is taking three horses underneath. So like if you do a 20-cent super key and you put my boy Prince and then you throw in Pierre, Jokester, and Essex Serpent. So the 20 cents is really a cost of the key is $1.20. So people might want to do that. I'll pay a little more than the favorite would if the other horses come in second, third, and fourth.
The key point is if they come in.
Well, yes, because anything can happen with horse racing.
That's exactly right.
When I see a horse like coming in and he's winning by 7 or 8 lengths, all I'm thinking about, don't fall off the horse.
Fair enough. If you stop sharing your screen for a sec, I'll go back to the actual horses, if you like, everyone. And then everyone can see and remember what the horses are in the race. So here's the card for the day. And Jen, would you like to go through and determine how you've come to and what you have picked, why you would like to pick those, and maybe your top 5 like we did last time?
So I am going with the ones that you discussed because of the favorites, but My Boy Prince, Essex Serpent, and Jokestar because Jupiter and Mercury and Sun come into play.
Okay. And you got any others that may come in? Normally your top 5. So you're going with My Boy Prince, Essex Serpent, and Jokestar.
And also Caitlin, Her Greatness, and Friendly Ghost, because Neptune comes into play in the fixed star of Nunkey on the ascendant.
Okay. And Robert, what about yourself?
Well, I do like My Boy Prince to win the race, and I have Pierre, Jokestar, and Essence Serpent. I'm just going to play, and if I had to throw in another horse, probably Midnight Mascot.
Your picks are very similar to mine, Robert. I wrote down, and I literally just wrote it down, and I wasn't too sure. There was one other that might jump in for me. I do believe, looking at it, that My Boy Prince should win this race. And my reasons behind it, if you wanted to put it quickly, is the fact that there is no significant astrological planetary influence one over the other in the race. There's a combination. Picking combinations to pick a winner, I always find, is the hardest thing to do. So this would be normally, if anyone wanted to know, this would be normally a race I wouldn't bother to pick. I probably wouldn't bother to use or do. However, I could deduce it down to say I think realistically you would stick with the favourites on the basis of where it's at. And I do think that why for me is that Mercury, my boy Prince, so my boy is a boy can be Mars, but my boy can also be youth, which is Mercury, and a prince is the sun. So that still brings in all of that sun Mercury. Remember, we talked about Mercury and Mars having a very strong sextile to each other. It's about the only real aspect that's about to hit of aspect itself, but normally sextiles don't make much of a difference. But with its form, I think my boy Prince should win this now. It's got more strength in this chart than, say, Essex Serpent has. But I do believe that the other one that could come second could be Pierre, because it's purely a Mars horse. And then Essex Serpent. I still think the favourite's going to have a run in. I do like coming in as possibilities to jump in would be Jokestar, Raffaroo, and Midnight Mascot. I think all of those three sort of have an equal hit in at it. That'd be my picks for the day. So I think we all agree that we pretty much think my boy Prince is going to win? Would I say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had to pick a winner, I think we've all agreed that my boy Prince would be the winner in this particular case. And good luck with the race, everyone. Let's hope you get on top of it.
We'll see what
thank
happens.
you.
All right.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and we will say good night.
Good night.